So Honda BF15a outboard, this one's from 1998, not idling as it should do. So today I'm going to quickly show you how to remove the carb, give that a little bit of a clean and inspection, and hopefully that solves most idling issues. First things first though, we remove the cowling. Just flicking the lever down at the back and lifting that off. So this is the carb here. Have the carb, the air inlet, breather hose and a fuel pipe coming in at the back. To remove the carb, we'll have to undo the breather and the fuel hose and these two 10mm through bolts that hold the carb and the air intake to the manifold. These bolts are here and here. Once these are off, we can slide it off and it will just pivot up off the two linkages, so both the throttle and the choke linkages. Before removing the bolts, I'll just remove the breather hose and the small clip, the pair of pliers for the fuel hose at the back. Should just pull off. There we go. Now the hoses are off, I'll take a 10mm socket on a little extension bar to loosen and remove the bolts. Now, being super careful not to drop anything in the water, we can pivot the carb up and off the throttle and choke linkages. Okay, so here's the carb off. So the air intake, we have the throttle plate at the back, and we have, to remove the air intake, we have the choke at the front. So when you operate the choke, this obviously closes off this plate here. This here is the idle screw. So even adjusted fully in, sometimes it just won't idle, and that's usually, as I say, because the carb is gummed up, especially if it's been sitting for a long time with old fuel. So you'd usually tighten this in to push this lever and open the throttle a bit more. So when you're idle and the throttle's eased back, this screw will hold the throttle plate slightly open. If you get to the point where even wound right down, it's not idling properly, it's likely gummed up. Obviously we can give this a good spray and a clean with some carb cleaner, but what you can do is you can take the float bowl off the bottom, remove the jet and the needle and give those a good clean as well. And that should simply be a matter of first removing these 4 screws. Okay, so in here we have the float, which obviously goes up or down depending on how much fuel is in the float chamber and allows more fuel in or stops more fuel coming into the float chamber. We need to now unscrew the jet screw to get to that and give that a clean out. And this unscrews anti-clockwise as per normal. That's the jet and the needle out, so I've given those a good spray with carb cleaner. They don't appear to have any obvious blockages, but the needle was quite sticky. Once you've had a clean and satisfied everything's as good as you can get it, I say ultrasonic cleaning is recommended to get all the little ports and channels really free of gunk, but as I say, it's not a bad idea to start with some carb cleaner and see if that does the job. Reassembly is just the reverse of removal. So once we've hooked on our linkages and slid the bolts back in, we can re-tighten. Okay, so hose is back on. Good priming pump to refill the system of fuel, and let's give it a go. Check out. Okay, so it started up quite easily. It's hopefully a good sign. We'll have to see if it will idle once it's warmed up and whether the idle needs any adjustments. So there we go. We're now idling reasonably smoothly enough, or certainly better than we were before.